Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Early Retirement Planning Half Hour on African Town Hall Online Television. My name is Francis Imeribe, and it is always a pleasure for me to discuss retirement planning with you. I have worked in the civil service of Nigeria and have worked in the industrial security sector in a corporate organization of international stature, representing them in a capacity in the whole of West Africa. So I have experience with working, uh, having to earn salary at the end of each month, and doing everything I can to make ends meet. Early retirement planning is something I came upon as I spent time to think about my life ahead of where I was sitting. I had a great job. Even the first job I left in government, the name alone and the title and status are great. If I waited and finished at the end of it, it would have been something substantial. But something was clear. The life I wanted at retirement was not possible from what I saw as I extended my mind and my heart to the future of that job after I am 60 years of age and need to compulsorily retire from service according to the regulations of Nigeria. That got me thinking, and in working on my thoughts, it led me to take deliberate steps to check what an average man who finishes at the highest possible level for me in the service will take home and what the monthly income of that person will be as pension. I worked out what the gratuity could be, which is the lump sum I could receive to say, okay, this is a gratuitous greeting for you as the time you spent here. And I saw that those things have nothing to do with what I wanted in my life. They are beneath the desires that I have. They are beneath the goals that I have set. They are even beneath the need that I'm going to have in retirement. That got me thinking. And it really was the source of a lot of thought and consultation. So, because of the deliberate action I took, trying to check out what will become of me when I finish from the service that I was working for Nigerian government, if I should get to the highest strata of it, after stretching and checking out all those things, and it did not comfort me in the time of my retirement, that set in motion a lot of anxieties and worries. I consulted with my family, my wife specifically, because our children were still young at the time I was thinking this. And we made a decision that we need a different life other than the one we are getting in service right now and the one we'll get when we finish even at the highest possible position that I could attain. Now, I made one of the things that instructed these deliberate thinking and actions was when I saw the life of my colleagues, especially the senior ones who retired in my presence. I just came to the job and I got integrated and I started doing all I can to be a man of the people around there. So I got to know many of these people intimately and closely. And as I reviewed what they were going home with, how they were going home, it was quite discomforting. Now, I am a man who have made a decision early in my life not to touch fraud with a long spoon. That's the decision I made very early in my life, not to touch anything fraudulent with a long spoon. Now, many people were having a field day, having fun, pulling through stuff, to make extra money. And most of the people that I know in service, civil service, the normal civil service, the military, the paramilitary, and other people that I know what they are doing. The only thing people are doing is doing what they call being smart, or using their position to either defraud people, get extra money by all means. And I said, this will not be me. I will not do this with my life. I want a life where I am in total control of what I'm doing. And I would like to express gratitude to those who already come to view this live broadcast. I welcome you with all my heart. I plead with you to leave a comment before you go away, or why this broadcast is going on, to leave a comment, to ask a question, any question you have about early retirement planning. This early retirement planning half hour has been set up for one purpose: to help the civil servants especially, and businessmen also, because there will be a time when they won't be hustling for money anymore, either because they are old or they have other dreams. Even this planning will give you other dreams. So I like to have your questions. This half hour is actually dedicated to answering questions, especially of those who have bought my book, Retire Early to Wealth and Fame. I'm still coming with a story of that, but I had to make this announcement for those who are viewing. We are seeing on the counter. So first, leave a comment. You can even just tell us you're here and you can hear me loud and clear. That will be comforting and suitable. The other thing I would like to have is a question or a comment. And if you have read my book and have a comment about the book, a testimonial about the book, or even a criticism about the book, this half hour is meant for such things. So thank you and welcome, and please keep viewing. Now I'll come in with a story of how I came to write a book on retirement planning. As I looked at those things, they didn't comfort me. I started making plans of what to do with my life. And myself and my wife, we decided we need to leave service in good time when we can still use our skills and abilities and deploy them elsewhere where it has the possibility of making us additional or better money. So initially, my mind was only on additional money because I've already reached a retirement age that time, 40-something years of age, and could get a pension and gratuity. And then I'm thinking, if I now have that and have a salary elsewhere, this will be a boost to what I'm doing. And that was a good thinking, because I didn't come out from where I can call central bank to give me money, or any bank to give me money to start a business. And then again, even one of the most foolish things anybody would do is to use money, borrow money from a bank to start a business. Well, if you borrow that money to buy real estate, it might make a lot of sense if you have a way of keep paying that money so that interest will not become too much, because real estate will always rise. In Nigeria in particular, real estate does not fall. So Amos Eligu Adeku has indicated he's watching and hearing me loud and clear. Good evening, my dear friend and brother. And the others viewing, we want you to leave comment. First, we want to know you're here. Secondly, we want you to ask a question about retirement planning or about my book, Retire Early to Wealth and Fame. If you have read it, if you have a criticism, this is the time to get it. If you have a testimonial about the book, this is the time we need to discuss it. And then if you have a question on your own planning, this is when to have it. Now, remember, I'm sharing all of this so that everyone can be served. So if you share your comments and your questions, you're also helping to serve other people. Now, the point I'm making here is that every one of us who has something, one idea, two ideas, big idea, small idea, need to share it with the rest of the public so that they can benefit from it. Because if each and every one of us can share what we have, you discover that you have so much. One of the things that put us down is that we fear that we don't have enough. The truth is that anything you share multiplies. And as I'm sharing my knowledge on early retirement planning, I tell you, my life is multiplying. And I can share one of the ways. I get invited by companies to come and discuss this with their people, some organizations, even government departments. And it helps me expand my friendship base. And when I teach these things, everybody gets wowed in the way that they say, wow, I mean, we need to stay connected to you. So everything you share expands. So share your knowledge, share your comment, share your efforts in retirement planning, and share your criticism of my book. That's what I want to have here. Because in due course, we need to have a revised edition of this book to connect with contemporary situations on retirement and planning. Okay. So anyway, as I was telling the story, after checking all those things and seeing that I need to make a different decision concerning my retirement, so I went ahead. At the time, I now did a SWOT analysis of myself, of my strengths, what I'm going to take out there. I know that I had I was working in the internal security department, and it was great security experience that I have. I have great one. I had a lot of trainings and I had the experience, and my own personal acumen helped me to become effective in such a way I was a go-to person in the whole system. So coming from that background, I felt that experientially, training-wise in security, I had something great to offer. So that's number one. Then number two, I check myself. I say, okay, academically, what do I have? Hitherto, the highest education I had at the time I made decision to retire was a diploma in public administration. I didn't have a university degree. And I consider that if I have a university degree, I have a chance with my experience to get managerial positions anywhere else I'm going, which will now give me, sometimes a lot more than I even bargained for. I was content to just get my pension and gratuity from my first place of employment and get additional salary here to float and be okay and be able to start businesses and things that I would do in retirement. I was okay with that. Now, but I also thought if I had a university degree, I could get something in a higher pedestal. So I made that plan also, and I went to school. So from the day my wife and I first sent out our hand on paper about my retirement to the day I retired was 7 years. During that period, I was able to go to the university and get a university degree. I took additional professional training by the side, became a fellowship of the Nigerian Institute for Industrial Security and other organizations and their membership, and then went to so many any seminar and workshop that I had. I say anywhere that will increase my capacity in management and in security, I went to them. So this time I now started looking for my exit from service. I was lucky to get an opening that wasn't wonderful in my church as a assistant security supervisor in one of our sites. So now that was, if you are talking about human ego and human position in life, taking that job was like being on top of a mountain where everything is cool and cozy. And then you jump from there into the murky waters in a valley. That's what it was like. Very low position. Okay. He was very low in status. And when I even got there, the question was, I was told, oh, you come and be a training manager since you have a lot of skill for the security group here. But when I came in, the supervisor told me, hey, man, it's not any training manager thing. You will do what other security guards are doing. I was laughing because in my previous service, I had an official car, official residence, an orderly, the secretary, and I operated from, I had desktop, my secretary had one. He was in a high corporate position that I was. But I came down to this place and started working on it. Some comforting thing was that the pay was actually better than the one of the big position I have in government. So yeah, money, comfort, yes. I mean, he has started acting out on the money side of the plan. Then we started, and before long, they say whatever you share will expand. Because I was willing to share all the expertise I have in that organization, quickly it expanded. In 2 years, I became the Nigeria country security manager. And then in the next another 2 years, total of 4 years, I became the West Africa security manager for the organization. So everything I wanted, all my desires for traveling, and they were met by this. So the point I'm making here is that you need to put your life in a thinking mode all the time. We have new people who have appeared in our viewing panel. We want to invite you to leave a comment. We want to invite you to let us know you're here by a comment on the chat bar. And also, and above all, the most important, we want you to ask a question. Because a question is what will make this hour, this half hour, very sweet for everyone involved in it. So please ask those questions. And this kind of questions you ask is, have you been thinking about retirement? Are you afraid in any sense concerning retirement? Are you worried? Bring it here. Because by the time I finish discussing your question and concerns, you discover that you have gotten so much power. And I've seen that more people have joined in watching. I want you to leave a comment. Don't go away without a comment. It's also important that you leave a comment, especially a question on retirement planning. Now, even if you can't stay throughout the period, leave the comments. I'll provide the answer, and you can go back later and download this video for free on Facebook and then view it more and then see the answer that I gave. And I'm going to give you an answer of what I did, all the actions that I took in preparation for my retirement, and then the actions that led to the writing of the book. Okay, thank you. And I'm so grateful that a number of people could come to view this live webcast. Thank you very much. Now, one issue that led to the writing of the book, Retire Early to Wealth and Fame, because I just wanted to take care of myself and move on. But then something happened. Apart from the experiences of my former colleagues who struggled because they didn't make any additional plan for retirement, they were waiting to retire with their gratuity. They retired with it. Try to start business with them. That is suicide. If you ever try to start business with their gratuity, that is suicide. And these things are explained in detail in this book. It's suicide. Don't do it. And that is why being in this engagement hour is good for you. So they tried to start business with their gratuity. Of course, suicide. They lost the money, fell sick. Those of them who were lucky died immediately. The unlucky ones among them stayed paralyzed for many years. And that was so troubling for me. That's number one that made me think about retirement. Then number two that made me late to writing of the book was I had this very senior colleague of mine who were very close. In fact, we bear the same first names. We were very close. Some 3 years before I met him, I was reporting remotely to him in the desk that I was manning in Cross River State of Nigeria. I was reporting directly to him in Abuja in a dotted line. And then I came to the FCT command on the same assignment. So I was also reporting to him in the same way. And then he later became my director. Now, fast forward 3 or 4 years from the point we met last when I left service, I saw him. He was now in a bad situation. And I said, hey, what are you doing? Why don't you retire then? He said, oh, no, I'm not retiring. Yeah, I've not used the time of retirement. I said, okay, well, how many years do you have remaining? He said, I have 2 years. 2 years? You say you've not reached the time? Okay. If you have not reached the time when you have only 2 years and you are not having fun at work, okay, but let me see how other things there. Have you set up the businesses you do in retirement? He said, but I've not retired yet. Which means this my man is going to use his gratuity to start business when he finishes, which is terrible. And the other part of it that really got me worried was when I asked him, has all your children finished school? Because let me tell you this, if while you're working, all your children finish schooling while you're still at work, especially those who married in good time, had their children early, raised them with their salary, and they all left the home, they say they finished university at least or have left home, maybe you're going to survive a little bit if you lose your gratuity. Now, the one that shook my bones was that this, my friend, said he has a son in the university and another child, a daughter, still in secondary school. And he has 2 years to live. And he has no plans of what he would do when he retires. That shocked me. So as I left his presence that day, I felt guilty that I did not start sharing what I did. That gave me the comfort and the special opportunities that I received. That's why I'm here. And when you see me here talking about this, the main reason is because I have people that I love who made mistakes that maybe if they had me, they wouldn't have. That's why I took it on myself to bring this information and all for free. And I see that many more people are coming to view this broadcast. I am so very grateful that you're coming. I invite you to please leave a comment, leave a question, leave a criticism of my book if you have read it. I actually would love a criticism of the book because I intend to review that book in due course. So leave a criticism, leave a question, leave a comment. And if you're making a retirement plan that is very cozy and sweet, please share it with others. I'm sharing this with others because of the story I'm telling you now. I felt guilty that if I had told these people what I was doing and encouraged them to begin that time to do it, they won't be in a situation where you have 2 years to leave service, you still have children at home, and you don't have a plan, you don't have a business you do when you retire. And I couldn't understand that. That's why if you read my book, Retire Early to Wealth and Fame, and I invite you to find a way and buy it and get it. There's an ebook version of it that costs so cheap. We can send to you by email. And then the hard copies are available and we can get them around to anywhere in the world, depending on where you are. And it's on Amazon. So if you can't get it directly from us, you can get it delivered to you by Amazon. Now, the point is, as these people continued without having plans for their life, I felt I need to help. So in this book, I mentioned that I am an early retirement planning evangelist. If you know, evangelists broadcast gospel or you can evangelize anything. It's not just gospel that people are evangelists for. So for me, as an evangelist, if somebody is a true Christian evangelist, he will preach for free. He will preach the gospel without asking anybody to pay them. So that's why I'm preaching this particular retirement gospel, because I have taken the role of an early retirement planning evangelist. So that's why we are here. And that's why I invite you to share your own retirement plans here. Share what you are having fun with so that others can learn. Because if they learn and this world is filled with bounty, it will affect you. Actually, you are not wealthy if you are the only one who has money on your street. If you are the only one who has wealth in the place you live, in your estate, in your village, in your community, you are as poor as the poorest person there. Because if they turn on you, you discover that you cannot sustain all of them. But if everybody can, what you have, the knowledge you have, the power you have can, roll over and spiral, and people can get knowledge through it, then you are empowering yourself at the same time. That's why I'm here today. That's why I'm doing this. It's fun. Actually, it's fun for me doing this. I must confess that. When as a member of the church that I attend, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, well, I was living in Abuja at the time, but Abuja was not a stake of the church, so there were no patriarchs in Abuja at that time. So I had to go to Benin City in Nigeria to get a patriarchal blessing from a patriarch who had never seen me before and doesn't know me from Adam. And there's no information shared except the correspondence that I would like to come to get a patriarchal blessing. That's all the correspondence we had. So when I sat down, he counseled me and gave me a blessing. Both in his counsel and his blessing, he said, your role, your calling in life is a teacher, to be a teacher. So go and study. That's what he told me. Your role in life is a teacher, so go and study. And he marveled me because I just love teaching normally. But I was a shy person and really didn't want to come out and start teaching anybody anything. But when he gave me that blessing and counsel, it changed the turn of my life. Then by the time I came upon this retirement planning business, okay, I can need to do this, that, or in that case, I felt that there will be nothing better for me to teach in this life than to teach retirement planning. That's why I wrote the book, plus the other reasons. So the book was packaged as a practical experience of myself, which I brought forward and put in the hand of people. When the first printing of this book took place, 1,000 copies of it was printed. To date, more than 500 copies of this book has been given out for free. To date, as we speak, more than 500 copies of it has been given out for free. We are selling the book. People are buying it. Those who come upon it, they realize the benefit, they buy it. But when I go to some organizations and see their staff, they look confused. I interact with them. Maybe I came to that organization to do business, and I see that the people are either looking for a bribe, and I don't give bribe and I don't take. So they're looking forward to bribe or something. I really get worried. I know that they're looking for bribe because they're afraid of their future. If anyone is assured of their future, they won't look for bribe. That's why, to me, the politicians that rule in Nigeria, most of African countries, are the poorest people here. They are imbeciles. They don't know anything. They are so afraid of poverty, and they don't know what to do about their poverty, so they steal. Those who know what to do don't steal. They begin to do those things. So when I meet these kind of people, I ask them two questions, and of course, it will prove what I'm thinking, and I will give them a dash of the book. So one of the things I do when I'm going to some organizations, I just go ahead with the book. I'm not even going there to ask for anything. I'm just going maybe to visit a friend or something, and I see someone and take a look at them, and I feel in my heart this person should get a copy of the book, and then I sit down with that person and say, hey, what's your plan? And by the time they say 3 sentences, I know they're in trouble. And I say, okay, read this book. If you walk from it, you will be okay. And I have a number of testimonials people have brought forward since that time. So I see people come in and out of this broadcast. Please, when you come here, don't leave without a comment. Don't leave without a question, because this hour is meant for question. The half hour is for question and answers. Don't leave without a question. Even if you are not working now, if you read the book, you discover that my advocacy is that people should start planning for retirement before they get their job. Because if you get the job, you're bound, sometimes you'll be carried away by the fact that it's so sweet to have a job, and then you start showing off. So because of that, what I want people to begin even to plan their retirement before they begin their work. So that is Amos, who have been watching, had left a comment here and he said, I'm yet to read the book and hope to do so. My questions are, for those who are not on government payroll or those running personal enterprise, how should they envisage retirement? And at what age or level should such persons retire? Very beautiful question, Amos. This is the kind of thing that I'm looking forward to in this engagement hour. And I wish that you will find time and get this book and read. The ebook edition of this book costs just 500 naira. It doesn't cost a lot of money, just 500 naira. And you can download it in your phone or laptop or desktop and read it, or even and other tablets. So, and then the hard copy of it costs 2,500 and comes with 6 months coaching by me for you, for whoever has bought it. Okay, let's take care of these questions that have been brought forward by Amos, and these are very critical questions. For those who are not in government payroll or those who are in personal enterprise, how should they envisage retirement? Very good question. There's a chapter in the book for business people, petty traders, or business that is entitled Retirement Planning for Petty Traders and Other Kinds of Traders. Now, those who are not in government payroll or even any company's payroll, here is how retirement is important for you. One of the reasons why people should plan their retirement, regardless of whatever means they use in getting their money, is because of times it come in our lives when it will be impossible, either through an accident, or natural causes or natural disasters, we will not be able to make any money actively. That's one. Then the other time is for a businessman, let's say, or a trader, you started out as a young person hustling like most of the traders we have in our market. Now, can you sit in that market still hustling when you are 90 years of age? I know that the answer to that is no. So, because you can't do that, then it requires that you make plans of how you can have a retirement where you can still have money coming to you, whether you are working for it or not. When we talk about life after retirement, one of the critical things I have taught, and I gave out this quote, and anytime you use it, you can quote me, is that life after retirement can be glorious, happy, fun, peaceful, and with wealth, or it can be a nightmare in the daylight. It is broad daylight, then you're having a nightmare. Life after retirement can be that. What makes the difference between a peaceful, happy, enjoyable retirement is, number one, planning. That you plan for it ahead of time. Number two, you get knowledge of what you need to do, especially knowledge of how you can have money still coming to you in retirement when you are not capable of working, or when you don't even want to work. It's only in Africa that we work until the last day. In many other clients where things are a little bit well set out, where they are using planning, you work and say, okay, for next 5 years, I'm not going to work. So you make plan against that. So during that period, you travel the world, you have fun, you visit beaches, and just get out and see the world, and then you can come back. Many people make their wealth, and then after they have finished, they come back and simply have fun with their grandchildren. So for those who are not on payroll, who are not earning salaries or wages, the ways you need to make your own retirement planning is through diversification of your sources of income, especially diversifying into business opportunities and ideas that make money for you residually. For example, this book, Retire Early to Wealth and Fame, from time to time, I'll just be there. Someone will call, oh, I came across your book. I need to get a copy. They call. And that they may call those at the time I even need that 2,500 they're going to pay. And I'll just laugh, that will be a loose cash that will be very useful that time. That will make me not to have to maybe start running to bank or trying to ping on my phone right there. They transfer the money and then they get the book. So find a way to make money residually. It's called passive residual income. That is money that comes no matter what. And, many people think that this is not possible because we are, the only thing we know is that one in one small hole of how to make money. Buy your goods for 100 naira, sell them for 150 naira, and make 50 naira profit. That is a business system, but that's not all. And that one is dependent on your ability to continue to run. Now, what if you can't run? And that is where you have a number of business systems. There's network marketing that is available. And but you need to be careful with the product. Let it not be those products that demand so much investment every now and then before you make them. There are a number of products that you invest once, and all you need is to help others to invest, and you do not need to do any particular maybe auto card or monthly payments before you get them. But there are some of those who are really fun and they make a lot of money, and then you don't even bother about making those monthly payments. But that's one way to have residual income. Another way to have residual income is to develop a training program. Even if you're a trader, you can decide to train other people, show other people how to become traders. And then in your own the normal one with the Igbo people is apprenticeship. And you can provide other options where maybe people will pay to come and learn. They spend their time with you. They use your product or goods and services to make their mistakes, but at the end of the day, they learn, then they grow. Or even their presence will become an expansion for you. Let's say even if you train them on the apprenticeship, If you start struggling, they are there for you. If once they're able to stand, they are there for you. That's why even when I give out this information, when I give out these things, I see the way they're expanding is helping me to receive more. So because whatever you give out comes back. So, and then for most people who are in business, I do not see why you should still continue to hustle when you are 70, 80. You should hustle to whatever speed from now, whatever age you are to that time. At that time, you need to either have developed a son or daughter who will run the business, or the business may have become a process that runs without you. So part of the retirement planning of those in business is to set their business to become a process that runs without their having to be there. And once you can do that, that's retirement planning for those in business. And then savings and acquisition of estates, real estate. Those are other places that those in business can use to support themselves. The real estate is also an opportunity for those in paid employment. But if you put a lot of resources in real estate, let me tell you, you are 25, 30, 40 now. If you buy real estate in one remote village today, 30 years from now, when you are 70, that will be gold. I don't know if you understand that. I mean, real gold. That's what that will be. And you can pick any of them and sell them, and they will become huge for you. You can even rent them out, because I know that people rent out empty landed property, like where they use for many mechanic workshops. I have a friend who has 2 plots of land, and the mechanics fill up the whole place. So, and every month they pay him rent. That is in case you can't build them. You can also build a few houses for that you can rent out. Those are the way businessmen will do their own. As you struggle, invest in real estate, either in building or even in purchasing land. Just simply perfect the papers, find a way to put some security around them, and then watch them grow. So far in Nigeria, real estate doesn't fail. It has not failed before. It may fail in future because everywhere is dynamic. But right now, and I don't think in the foreseeable future that time has come. So the people in business should save. Now, one of the critical things taught in Retire Early to Wealth and Fame is savings. And in that place, many people thought that you can only save if you have a lot of money. Let me tell you, if you cannot save when you have uh, 50,000 naira or even 10,000 naira, you cannot save when you have 50 million or 10 million. This is truth. And it is proven by experience. It is proven by everyone who have been around. So for business people, they will learn to save, one for any day, for reinvestment, especially for buying real estate and developing real estate, which is where they will fall back to. And then, well, the other thing they can do in their business is to make it a process, develop a process in their business that the business can run whether they are there or not. Okay. All right, thank you. It has been we are just dealing with the questions that Amos asked, and then at what age or level should a person retire? I mentioned that your retirement doesn't have to be in a particular time. Your retirement can happen when you want to. You must have seen books of people who say I retired at 40. While somebody even wrote one as how I retired at 30, and there's even a young woman who said how I retired at 30, and so on and so forth. So the retirement age is dependent on how you have worked your plan and how far you done with it. Like I said, life can be a nightmare or a joy. It all depends on your planning, your knowledge, and your experience, and the work you did in your retirement planning. In your retirement planning, if you start it early, you discover that you would have had a lot of leeways to prepare yourself for the time when you are not earning money. And I invite people to buy the book, Retire Early to Wealth and Fame, so that they can prepare themselves for early retirement planning. The reason being that if you don't plan your retirement early, then you are preparing yourself to have a nightmare. I cannot forget the image of those people that I know who work very righteously, who work very powerfully, very influential people. They retired, they had no plan. Then they got their gratuity, they simply put it in a business they never knew anything about, and the business vanished. One of the things we taught in the book is the businesses, how you can start business with your where you are now, so that when you retire, the retirement benefit can now be used to boost the business, to expand the business. Your retirement benefit is not what to be used in starting a business. Starting a business is like going to school. All the initial capital you use in starting will vanish because they will become school fees. Everybody have to pay school fees now. When you are starting a business, you are in school learning. That's what it is. So check your average trader before they recover. The initial money will go away. Their parents or their friends will loan them money, or they will sell land and all kinds of things before they now restart. So that is the point. The point is you need to prepare yourself in such a way that retirement will become a joy for you. And my desire is to help everyone who will come to me to retire into joy, peace, and wealth, because we will help you learn how to prepare to make money while in retirement. We'll help you learn the things you'll be doing in retirement. Retirement is not the time to go fold your hand like me. I want to run. My own desire is to run until I'm 100. And if I'm going to die at that time, I just want to run one day, exercise, finish, take my bath, lie down in my bed and die. I don't want any stress with this. Those are my plans. So now, what I'm doing right now is joy for me. I told you it came from a Petrarca blessing. And I mean, I have always loved that. Then the Petrarca blessing showed me that's the path that God has marked for me. So for me, presentations and training and giving knowledge and sharing knowledge is joy for me. And that's what I decided that I would do in retirement. When I retire, I will just have time to give and give and give, because the more you give, the truth is that that's the more you get. My horizon, my network, my connections are expanding every day because of my ability to give from my knowledge and experience. So that is what people should plan to do in retirement. And you can retire at any age, but plan for retirement so that if it gets to the point where something, natural causes, other problems, you have to lose your job or business, then you still have things to fall back on, so that you will not get into that situation of those my senior and former colleagues who were really traumatized, who died, who became sick and paralyzed because they could not make a plan. If you buy the book Retire Early to Wealth and Fame, it costs 2,500 naira, and then comes with 6 months coaching for the hard copy, and the ebook edition costs 500 naira only. All that you need is if you send 500 naira Nigerian money, that's almost just $1 for those who use dollar in their currency, and then I will email you the book almost immediately. So we invite you to buy it, and if you bought the ebook or the hard copy, you are still entitled to 6 months free coaching from me as soon as you finish reading the book and ask your first question. So your coaching starts the day you finish reading the book, and then you ask your first question, then your coaching begins at that point. And I'll be with you, sharing all that I know, all that I have done to prepare your life. Don't wait until you have employment before you plan. It's always better to plan before you get there, so you know where to put your first salary, instead of putting it in a binge and celebration of arrival when you are just beginning the journey. Thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and comments, and thank you for watching. At the end of this broadcast, the video will be available on the African Town Hall Media for you to watch. I will also share it for my friends in Project 30 Before 30 International. So you can also, if you are connected to Project 30 Before 30 International, you can get there to get it. I will also put it on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, the African Town Hall also. If you get to the YouTube channel, we invite you to like it and to share it for people, and to to share to people, and then invite them to come and watch it with you. I discover now that Facebook is not allowing watch parties again. Otherwise, there would have been a watch party immediately after her here. But feel free to go back to the African Town Hall page on Facebook, and you'll see the video there, and then watch it, download it, take it, share it with anybody. It is provided that it might go around and reach people. Okay. Amos said he wants to buy the ebook edition of this book. That is great, Amos. All I'll do is I will just send you my account number. As soon as you make that money, you send me your email address, and I will email you the ebook copy immediately. It's already waiting for those who like it. Those who like to get the ebook version are welcome. In fact, most ebook is the way to go. I even have an ebook club, so that because I know that that's where to go. So I will invite people. Even the ebook edition, buy it. It's so cheap and easy. And in minutes of discussing the purchase, you already have it, and you can begin to read. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Amos. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate your comments and being present in this broadcast, and all the others who showed up, who may have left or who couldn't leave a comment or something. I appreciate your being here. Please visit our YouTube channel, which is the African Town Hall, and I will put this on YouTube and then share it on Facebook, so that will be a chance for you to get to our YouTube channel, so you can view it there and then have a chance to like our channel, share from YouTube, and also especially subscribe. And when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, please remember to click the notification bell, so that every time we post there, which is every time we do programs every day of the week and we share them on YouTube, then you will be able to be notified of all the new things we are posting for free for you to use. Thank you very much, and have a great time, everyone.